So I'll tell you this, Matt. I have a friend here in town who has been a lifelong Kansas diehard basketball fan. And he told me months ago, this is when Hunter Dickinson transferred over to Kansas. He told me his first reaction like that night was, see what you can find on him to win the Wooden Award, because he is going to be the best big guy Self is ever going to have running that high-low offense that he's put together. And Self has had, the talent that this guy's had with the Jayhawks over the years is, you can't even, it's countless, the big guys who've been really, really good. What do you think of Dickinson? What do you think of Kansas overall?
I like Kansas a lot. I don't have Kansas rated number one, but very close. And the day Hunter Dickinson announced he was going to Kansas, I bet Kansas 15-1 to win it all. And I read last week that Bill Self said that Hunter Dickinson is the best offensive big man he's ever coached. And that's saying a lot because he's coached a lot of really good offensive big men. But I've watched Dickinson, play a lot of games at Michigan, and he's an outstanding passer and perimeter shooter. And the way he can move all over the floor and score from different points of the floor. But the thing is, he makes everybody on the floor better because he's so good as a passer and just what he does on the offensive end. So I think Kansas has got a ton of potential. And when you're trying to forecast teams, you're always looking for experience in the backcourt. And the point guard, Dillon Harris, has 77 career starts. You've got a couple other veterans coming back, KJ Adams, Kevin McCullough, and the usual assortment of, high-profile recruits that the Jayhawks get. Marco Jackson, Johnny Furfree, Jamari McDowell, Nicholas Timberlake, a Towson transfer who's a three-point shooting specialist. I like this team a lot. I'm a little bit concerned about the depth because I actually had a lot of defections after last season, lost a couple guys to the NBA. So I'm not sure if Kansas is going to be great right off the bat, but I think this team's got a ton of potential because of Dickinson. So I did play the 15-1, and he's going to be live to win Player of the Year as well. I'm not sure what DraftKings has up on Dickinson right now. Is it about 4-1 with Zach Edey from Purdue as a favorite?
Yep. It was a weird year for the futures market. I mean, you saw some huge long shots come in. Florida Atlantic goes to the Final Four, San Diego State, Miami as well, and then UConn at a big price after they got off to a slow start. But what do you think? Who could be this year's Florida Atlantic?
Yeah, it's interesting. I look back at the Ken Pomeroy ratings from the preseason last year, and this shows you that, you really can't emphasize stats that much when you're forecasting these teams. Pomeroy last year had Kentucky number 1 in the preseason and UConn number 27.
Wow.
Mitch, how'd Kentucky's season turn out?
Yeah, like a typical Calipari coach team.
So when I evaluate teams in November, I don't go too deep into statistical analysis. So basically do my personnel evaluations in 7 categories: coaching, backcourt, big men, experience, three-point shooting, defense and rebounding being a category, in depth. And the first 3 categories with the most emphasis. And Michigan State came out as my top team. I bet Michigan State at 20-1 over the summer to win it. But when you're looking at longer shots, Paul, to answer your question about who could be Florida Atlantic or Miami this year, I'm not going to say Arkansas is that type of team because they're not an under-the-radar type of team. But if you're looking beyond those top favorites, Arkansas, Arizona, Creighton, Colorado, and St. John's are 2 potential long shots. I'm going to give you Colorado, St. John's, and possibly St. Mary's, even though I'm not quite as excited about St. Mary's in the big picture. Rick Pitino's got a team at St. John's that I think is going to surpass what all the pundits think, because you got 6'11" senior Joel Soriano. He had 25 double-doubles last season. Pitino has brought in a bunch of impact transfers, and this is going to be a really talented team, and we know how great he is as a coach. Pitino's going to win more than 20 games and get to the tournament and have a shot to get to the Final Four as a Cinderella type of team. And watch out for Colorado as well, because Tad Boyle is not hyped like Coach Prime, but this is a sleeper team in the Pac-12. 84% of their scoring comes back. 2 of the league's top 5 returning scorers, Tristan Da Silva and a junior guard, KJ Simpson. And they got an outstanding recruiting class, by the way. And the Buffalo's going to be ready for prime time. So I think Colorado and St. John's will be 2 teams I would say could be Cinderella types.
Oh, okay. But as of right now, you would say that if you can find Michigan State around 18-1, that would be your favorite bet on the futures board right now?
18-1 is the best number you can find on Michigan State, and that's at the Westgate Superbook. And I bet 20-1. But yeah, I would take anything 15-1 or higher. I love this Michigan State team. Came out top team on my ratings. A scale of 100, Michigan State came out with a 94. You got a fifth-year senior, Tyson Walker, a fourth-year junior, A.J. Hogard, another junior, Jaden Akins in the backcourt, Jeremy Fears, a freshman point guard, a McDonald's All-American. The front line, always strong, defense rebounding, 6'8" power forward Malik Hall, 6'9" center Matty Sissoko, 6'11" backup center Carson Cooper. You've got a couple other big men, including Cohen Carr, who's a 6'6" athletic freak, and Xavier Booker, 6'11" freshman, another McDonald's All-American. And Tom Izzo, who usually downplays his team, actually said last week that he loves this team. And I think that's a really good sign. And Izzo also, he goes 10 to 12 deep with high-quality players on this roster. He said, they're not going to play the typical Big Ten style this year. Michigan State's actually going to play pressure defense and run at every opportunity. So I like a lot of what I see about Michigan State, and that's my top-rated team with Kansas number 2, Purdue number 3, and Duke 4, Marquette 5. That's how my rankings come out right now in the VSiN College Basketball Betting Guide. Yeah,
I'm looking at Michigan State right now. At DraftKings, they're plus 550 to make the Final Four. I also like adding Final Four bets to the old portfolio. A team right below them is Houston at 6-1. Kelvin Sampson, seemingly, Matt, always has a loaded team here with the Cougars, but now it's year number 1 in the Big 12. What are your expectations for this program?
Well, I like Houston. I've got Houston rated number 8. They did lose 2 NBA first-round picks, and I think Kelvin Sampson's going to be reloading here, kind of like Eric Musselman is at Arkansas. You get L.J. Cryer, a transfer from Baylor, Damian Dunn, a transfer from Houston, and this was a team that was number 2 in the nation in scoring defense a year ago. I like Arkansas a little bit better. I think if you're looking for a team, and we've seen Razorbacks make some tournament runs here the last couple of years, I think Arkansas has been to 3 consecutive Sweet 16s. It's time to break through. I think I would recommend the Razorbacks a little bit more, I think, than I would Houston.
Okay. Who do you like in about a minute here, Matt? Who do you like as a bet right now to win the Wooden Award?
Kyle Filipowski at Duke. And I think Hunter Dickinson is going to be there too. And I just think that Zach Edey at Purdue is the most dominant player coming back. But Purdue's got a more talented roster this year. They got 4 new players. They're much deeper. I'm not sure they're going to run the offense through the low post as much as a year ago. So Edey's numbers might decline. If that's the case, it's really going to open things up, I think, for Hunter Dickinson and Kyle Filipowski, a 7-foot sophomore who can run the floor, shoot threes, 15 points, 9 rebounds a game. Duke's going to be a team, won 27 games a year ago, is going to be a team that wins, close to 30 again this year. So I would say Dickinson and Filipowski, who's 9-1 right now at DraftKings. I like Filipowski.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.